Hey everyone, you're watching We Had That, and in this video I'm going to talk about the 1980 Star Wars action figure FX-7. The demand for Star Wars figures leading up to the Christmas season of 1977 caught Kenner off guard. They simply couldn't get the figures in stores fast enough to satisfy the demand that the movie had generated. So they famously sold an empty box called the Early Bird Special, which promised 4 figures would be mailed to the purchaser the following year. By the time The Empire Strikes Back came out in 1980, Kenner was much better prepared for the following Christmas season, and this time had 10 different figures in stores before the season even began. 4 from Hoth, 4 from Bespin, and 2 bounty hunters. These first 10 Empire Strikes Back figures appeared on a 31 back card, meaning the package for the figures pictured included a total of 31 different action figures on the back, along with 2 play sets, Hoth and the Star Destroyer, and a collector's case. I don't think that they were the first figures I received from The Empire Strikes Back, but still, this old photo of my Christmas haul, which included FX-7, along with 3 Imperial Snowtroopers, Bossk, IG-88, and a Star Destroyer, shows that this was a great Christmas for me. FX-7 was one of the 4 Hoth figures from this assortment, the medical assistant droid who assisted 21B in the scene at Echo Base with Luke Skywalker floating around in a glass booth filled with liquid, presumably bringing him back to health after being attacked by a Wampa. When I first thought about it, it seemed odd that this droid, whose entire role in The Empire Strikes Back lasted about 20 seconds, would get an action figure before Yoda, or even before 21B, who at least made a second appearance in another scene at the end of the movie. But upon further reflection, it actually made sense that not all of the most prominent characters would be released together. I'm sure Kenner was already planning for another wave of figures to come out a little bit later. At the time, I didn't know much about FX-7. Honestly, he wasn't even a droid I remembered from the movie after seeing it only once in the theater before it came out on cable. FX-7 did stand out as a figure, though. While most vintage Star Wars figures had 5 points of articulation, FX-7 had considerably more when you count all of his arms. He never saw as much action as my adventures with Luke Skywalker and Han Solo, but I thought it was great that Kenner was making figures of so many different characters to fill out my Star Wars universe. As an adult, I learned a little bit more about this mysterious silver robot. Apparently, during the time that The Empire Strikes Back took place, the FX-7 droids had mostly been replaced by more advanced droids in any reputable hospitals, but they were still in use at many rebel bases where the soldiers going up against the Empire pretty much had to make do with whatever they could acquire. I've also read that FX-7 is nicknamed Fix-It, but I haven't read anywhere about where that nickname was used. The most recent fact that I learned about FX-7 is that he's in Return of the Jedi. I never knew that before, but thanks to some articles online and the help of Star Wars fans Wayne Griffiths and Ian Rowe, I was able to spot him in the Rebel briefing room. Back in the 1980s, an entire new wave of The Empire Strikes Back figures were appearing in stores in 1981. FX-7 had already been kind of a background character in my Star Wars universe, and with the arrival of new, awesome action figures to play with, FX-7 became even more of a background prop than he was before. There had been a few characters in Star Wars that I would have liked to have seen as action figures that were never released by Kenner. For example, the Rebel soldiers, Grand Moff Tarkin, and more Cantina creatures. But I can't really think of any new characters who were present in The Empire Strikes Back that I had really wanted as an action figure, but that Kenner didn't make. So I certainly don't feel like FX-7 took the place of another character that Kenner should have made instead. Did you play with Star Wars figures as a kid? If so, who was your favorite figure? Do you remember what you thought of FX-7 when you were a kid? Tell me in the comments below. Also, please give this video a thumbs up and share it on social media. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe to my channel and hit that notifications bell so that you'll be notified when I post new videos. And one last thing, if you're a fan of toys, you should know about Toylanta, the biggest toy show in the southeastern United States, held annually just north of Atlanta, Georgia. Visit Toylanta.com for more information. As always, thanks for watching.